The internet exploded. Social media couldn't stop talking because a 21-year-old young man married a woman old enough to be his grandmother. But behind the photos and headlines lies a dark secret you've never heard. Stay with me because what you're about to hear will shake your soul. Before we begin, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe so you never miss another story that will leave you breathless. In the bustling city of Lagos, where wealth meets poverty, a wedding unlike any other was about to take place. The bride was 70, the groom just 21. Michael was young, handsome and poor. Funk was a billionaire widow dripping with power. Together they shocked the world. The priest asked Michael if he would take Madame Funk as his lawful wife. Michael said yes. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Some gasped, others chuckled. The priest turned to Funky. Without hesitation, she said yes, with all her heart. A few clapped, but many whispered in disbelief. When the priest declared them husband and wife, Michael kissed Funka's hand instead of her lips. The hall erupted with more murmurs. To some, he was a gold digger, to others, a fool. But what none of them knew was that this marriage would unlock a curse older than time itself. This was not just a wedding, it was the beginning of a storm. The wedding ended, but the whispers did not. As Michael and Funk stepped out of the grand hall, people muttered behind them. Some laughed, some spat insults, others prayed silently for the young man's soul. In the limousine, Funk held Michael's hand. Her touch was cold but firm. "Don't mind them," she said softly. "They don't understand us." Michael forced a smile. Inside, doubt gnawed at him. Was this really love, or was it desperation? He remembered his mother's face, thin and weary, begging for food in their one-room home. He remembered his siblings, their eyes hollow from hunger. He told himself again, "This is not for me. This is for them." That night, their mansion lit up like a palace. Golden chandeliers, endless servants, a bed so wide it felt like an ocean. But when Michael lay beside Funky, he felt no warmth. She was gentle, yes, but her body reminded him of his grandmother's frailty. He turned his face away, hiding the tears that rolled silently into the pillow. Days turned into weeks. Lagos tabloids splashed their faces everywhere. Young man marries old billionaire, love or money. Michael became a celebrity overnight. Girls his age mocked him. Men called him a coward. Yet others envied him for the wealth he now commanded. Michael's life transformed. His family moved out of poverty. His siblings went to school. His mother lived in comfort, but his heart remained empty. Then came the whispers in the mansion. At night, when the servants retired, Michael heard them. Voices, faint but chilling, drifting from the old wing of the house. "Michael," they called. "Michael." He told himself it was the wind. But one night, curiosity led him to the locked chamber Funka had forbidden him to enter. The door creaked open. Inside, candle wax covered the floor. On the wall hung portraits, not of Funky, but of her late husband, Chief Adebayo, and others, men Michael didn't recognize. In the center of the room lay a chest. His hands trembled as he lifted the lid. Inside were photographs of young men, all of them grooms, all of them dead. Michael's blood ran cold. His heart pounded in his chest. He dropped the photo and fled. But the whispers followed him. "You are next." The next morning he confronted Funky. "What is this?" he demanded, holding one of the photographs. Her eyes did not flinch. She looked at him with a sad, almost motherly gaze. "Michael," she said, "you should not have entered that room." His voice cracked. "Why are there so many?" Who were they? Her lips trembled. For the first time he saw fear in her eyes. "They were my husbands," she whispered, "all of them taken from me, not by choice, but by the curse that follows me. Michael stepped back, his whole body shaking. A curse, he whispered. Funk nodded slowly. Every man I marry dies before his 22nd birthday. You are my 10th husband, Michael, and you are only 21. The room grew silent. Even the air seemed to stop moving. Michael dropped into a chair, his face pale. He wanted to run, but something rooted him there. The mansion suddenly felt like a coffin, waiting to close on him. Michael could not sleep that night. The weight of Funk's words pressed on his chest. He turned again and again in their massive bed, staring into the shadows. Her soft breathing beside him sounded less like comfort and more like a countdown. By morning, Michael had decided he had to escape. But Funke was no fool. She watched him with eyes that saw beyond his words, beyond his smile. At breakfast, she touched his hand and said, "Michael, if you leave me, the curse will not spare you. It will follow you wherever you go." He pulled his hand away. "I don't believe in curses. I only believe in life and death, and I will not die for you." Her eyes filled with tears. Or was it something else? Fear, pity, regret? She whispered, "Then pray, Michael. Pray harder than all the men before you." That night, Michael did not return to their room. He hid in the guest quarters, praying silently. He remembered his mother's Bible verses, his grandmother's stories of spirits and binding curses. For the first time since he said, "I do," he wept like a child. 3 days later, the mansion grew heavier. Strange things began to happen. Servants quit, claiming they saw shadows moving down the hallways. Doors slammed without wind, mirrors cracked by themselves. Michael felt the noose tightening. Then, on his 22nd birthday eve, it happened. Thunder shook the mansion. The lights went out. Michael heard a voice, deep, ancient, commanding. Another groom for the grave. Another promise broken. He stumbled into the forbidden chamber. Candles burst into flames by themselves, illuminating the photos of the dead husbands. The faces seemed to move, their eyes following him. Funke entered, her gown flowing like water, her face pale. "It has come for you," she whispered. "The spirit of the first husband. He bound me with blood. Every man I wed must die, until love stronger than death breaks the chain." Michael shook his head. "And you never told me this before?" Her voice cracked. "Because I hoped, I prayed, you would be the one strong enough." The room trembled. From the shadows, a figure emerged, tall, faceless, cloaked in smoke. Its voice filled the chamber. "Michael, your time is done." Michael fell to his knees, shivering. "Why me? Why us?" the spirit roared, because her vow was sealed with blood, and blood must always be paid. But Michael rose slowly, his body trembling, yet his eyes burning with defiance. "Number. I will not die like the rest. I will not leave my family to hunger again. If blood is what you want, then take mine, but leave her free." Funke gasped, clutching her chest. "No, Michael, don't." The spirit laughed, a sound that cracked the walls. "Love again. Always love. Do you not see, boy? Love is weakness, love is sacrifice, and sacrifice feeds me." Michael closed his eyes. "Then I sacrifice willingly." The chamber shook violently. The spirit lunged, but as it touched him, a blinding light burst forth. Funke screamed. The photographs burst into flames. The curse wailed as if in pain. The spirit shrieked, "Love is not enough. Blood is mine." When Michael opened his eyes, he was still alive. Funk lay collapsed beside him, weeping. The photos were ash. The air was clear. The curse gone. Funke crawled to him, holding his face in her trembling hands. "You broke it. You really broke it." Michael, exhausted, whispered, "Then maybe it was never love that fed it. Maybe it was fear. and I was not afraid. From that day, the mansion grew warm again. Servants returned. Michael's family lived in peace, his siblings thriving in school. But Michael had changed. He no longer chased wealth or fame. He knew he had stared death in the face and chosen love over fear. As for Funky, she aged gracefully, finally free from the chains that had haunted her for decades. And though the world still whispered about their strange union, Michael no longer cared. Love is the only weapon strong enough to defeat death itself. In the end, love without wisdom can become a prison. If this story touched you, don't leave without liking, commenting, and subscribing. Share your thoughts below. Could you ever marry someone 50 years older? Stay tuned, because our next story will be more shocking.